Welcome to the 17th episode of the Dialog Project with Aditya Bhatia, Akash Junarkar, and Dheeraj Dedia. Today we have with us Lance Fernandes, who is pursuing his Master's in Electrical and Computer Engineering from Purdue University and has joined Intel as a product development intern. He has previously completed his Bachelor's in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from SPIT Mumbai. Welcome, Lance. It is a pleasure having you with us today.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. And by the way, guys, kudos to the work that you're doing, your project, Dialog Project. And I'm pretty sure that, the work that you're doing, Dialog Project, is going to help many master's aspirants and other graduate aspirants as well. So great work, guys.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That means a lot. So let's get started with our discussion. And as we know that all of these schools abroad have a very holistic evaluation process rather than only focusing on one aspect. So let's start by understanding your profile when you applied for an MS to the US in terms of three aspects: your academic background in your college, second is any internships or full-time work experience, and thirdly, any volunteering activities or social services and any other extracurricular activities which you might have done in the past.
Okay, so talking about my profile, in terms of academics, my undergrad GPA was 9.92 out of 10. And I would say that your bachelor's GPA play a very important role in your master's application and in your master's admission, because that kind of shows you how successful you would be in your master's program. So that is the first thing. And then talking about my internship or full-time experience, I am a fresh graduate. I directly joined my master's after my undergrad. So I don't have a work experience as such. So most of my skills and expertise have been demonstrated from my projects and other technical work that I have done. So those are kind of the things which sort of demonstrate my technical capability, I would say. And then talking about social activities and other volunteering activities, I would say, I have participated in some volunteering activities in my bachelor's. So talking about volunteering activities, like everyone has different opinion on this, but I feel that volunteering activities are they play a very less role in your overall application. Like, what I mean to say is that if you're really interested in volunteering, go for it. Volunteer for anything, but just don't do it because to add it to your profile, because that's just not going to help you. Especially in like Masters of Science program and technical programs, they more or less look on your GPA, and if you have any relevant work experience, and on your technical projects and other skills that you have, and they mostly try to see your potential if you would be successful in their master's program or not. So volunteering as such doesn't play an important role, but yes, if you're into volunteering, then do it.
Okay, and were there any other research papers or patents you were a part of in your undergraduation?
Yeah, so in my undergraduation, I have published 2 research papers. So one was in machine learning and AI, and the other one was in core electronics, which is analog circuit design, that is neuromorphic computing. So I have some research experience, and I have published my research in conferences as well.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So now moving on to the test scores part of your application, which tests did you give and which are accepted at the Purdue for an MS, and what were your scores on these tests?
So the test that I gave was GRE and TOEFL. And my score in GRE was 316 out of 340. So individual score was 166 in quantitative, and in verbal, I believe it's 150 or 151. And my TOEFL score was 112 out of 120. So I would say that these 2 are the tests which are accepted at Purdue. And also talking about, like, just to give more information on the GRE aspect, I would say that since it's a technical program and it's a Master of Science program, focus more on quant, because generally universities, they don't consider verbal, like your TOEFL score is enough to demonstrate your English speaking and writing capability. So, the TOEFL score and your quantitative score in GRE is something which is more important. Verbal score is also important, but that's not like the most determining factor in your overall application process, I would say.
Okay, got it. That's one very important insight you've given us and our viewers today.
Moving on to the application part of the process, Lance, what is the what is the whole what are the stages involved in the whole application process for the MS?
So talking about the whole application process, the normal application period for the fall, it starts in the fall of the previous year. That is, so for fall 23, it will start in August or September. And then you have so first of all, you have to give your GRE and TOEFL. So I gave my GRE and TOEFL before the application period started, that is in June or July, and I was done with it. And then the first thing is that you should try to shortlist your programs and universities where you want to apply. And then once you're done with that, there are 3 important things in your application. One is the statement of purpose, letter of recommendation, and your resume, as I mentioned. So you should immediately start with your resume and statement of purpose, and you should also try to reach out to professors early on so that you give you the letter of recommendation. So once you have everything in hand, and this letter of recommendations are generic for all their applications to all universities, but your statement of purpose is supposed to be specific to the university, and it should change based on which university you are applying to. So it takes some time on that. So once you're done with it, then you're good to go. You can apply and application, and you will be done with your application.
Understood. So moving on. What are the on-campus or off-campus jobs or internships available? For example, the TA-ship or the RA-ships.
So at Purdue, you have pretty good opportunities, I would say. So every university, I think that Purdue is one of the university where you have really good assistantship opportunities, like teaching assistantships and research assistantships as well. So generally for research assistantships, it depends on the professor. If professor has the funding, and if he wants you to research on his behalf, then he will give you the research assistantship. And teaching assistantship is generally to teach the undergrad students at the university, and it generally depends on the department. So at Purdue, at least, you have an application portal where you have to apply for teaching assistantships, and then you get it. And sometimes professor also play a role, professor can kind of recommend you for a teaching assistantship position and stuff like that. So you have pretty good opportunities in TA and RA ships at Purdue. And it's not only TA and RA in the department, but you can apply for TAs, teaching assistantships in other departments as well. There is first year engineering department, which is common to all engineering departments. And then you have mathematics department, and then your biology department and other departments as well. And again, there's some graduate assistantships as well. So graduate assistantship essentially means that you kind of assist the administrators and the administrative aspect of things. For example, you might support the IT in the library, or you might support some IT in the HR department, or you might do some work for them or something like that. So essentially, you're doing the administrative work. So these are the 3 positions available: teaching assistantships, research assistantships, and graduate assistantships. And all of them have the same benefits, at least at Purdue. Some universities have different benefits, like RA have more benefits than TA and stuff, but at least at Purdue, you have equal benefits for all the 3.
Understood. And what about any internships, opportunities for internships or part-time jobs?
So generally not only Purdue, but anywhere in United States for internships. So part-time, talking about part-time jobs, you can definitely find part-time jobs at Purdue. So there are grader opportunities, where you grade the papers and exams of undergrad students. So that is there, and then you can work as a barista in Starbucks or the food court cafeteria. So those are sort of the part-time jobs that you have at Purdue. So food courts, Starbucks, and other and graders, etc. So with the part-time jobs, the benefits that you get are very less as compared to the assistantships that you get. So assistantships, they have like more benefits in terms of the stipend and the tuition fee remission, etc. And then talking about internships, almost everywhere in United States, you have to apply on your own. So, you know, you apply, go to their website or portal, and then you submit your resume, and then you get an interview chance and you interview with those guys. And then at Purdue, you have career fairs as well. So there are two career fairs at Purdue. So one is in spring and other is in fall. And these are like very big per career fairs. So at least in semiconductors, you have good number of companies coming here, like Texas Instruments, AMD, and I think Microsoft also came this time. So there are a good number of tech and semiconductor and other tech companies coming here during the career phase as well. So, you can try reaching out to the recruiter and try to make a connection with them in the career fairs, so that might increase your chances of an interview at at the specific company. So yeah, there are 2 major career fairs, and there are some minor career fairs here and there that happen like twice or once in 2 or 3 months, not in 6 months, once in 2 or 3 months. Yeah.
Understood. So now diving more into topics that kind of confuse our viewers, basically the LOR and the SOPs. So could you share some tips on SOP and LOR with our viewers?
So talking about statement of purpose, first thing is that you should always, it should kind of, show your passion and your ability to be successful in the master's program. So, it should look like you are passionate, for the master's program, and you will be able to, be successful in that program. And then for example, you should sort of tell how this program will help you. And if you're into research and stuff, then you should sort of mention your research goals, like what you want to accomplish during your master's, what type of research you want to do, etc. If you're into research. If you're not into research, then just how this program will help you accelerate your overall career. So this thing you should be able to mention. And also let's say if you have some gap of 1 year or 2 years or something like that due to some reasons, then you should also be able to sort of, at least give some reason, or try to give some reasons to why there was a gap, and sort of, what you did in that time, and, everything like that. And then other important thing is that your statement of purpose should be specific to each and every university, as I mentioned before. So you should write some things about the university, about the research that the university is doing. So for example, in my case, Purdue is really known for semiconductors, and I was also very much into semiconductors. So, I kind of went through some research of different professors that they're doing some, some research of my interest. And then I wrote about that research, my research goals, etc. So that sort of, helps. And then talking about letter of recommendations, first thing is you should try to reach out to your professors early on, because, professors are also busy. So, if you kind of delay the process, then it might, they might not submit the LOR on time, because professor has to submit the letter of recommendation on your behalf. So, that might affect your overall application, because, I know this had happened before in the past. So that is one thing. And then talking about other thing of the letter of recommendation is that try to, take the letter of recommendation from those professors with whom you have done some projects, and with whom you they know you really well. So that, you would be able to, there would be some good, things to mention about you, like the student has worked on project, and, for example, if you have drafted a paper with the professor, then that's an added bonus, a bonus. And if you score good in that specific subject of the professor, then that is also an added advantage. So, try to take LORs from professors with whom you have worked the most. That is one suggestion.
Got it. Pretty useful points you've shared there. So next is the college selection process, which is, I feel, one of the most intimidating times in the journey of the application, maybe. So could you just share your experience, and what are your acceptances and rejects, and why did you end up being at Purdue? How did you end up being at Purdue?
Okay. So the universities that I applied to, they were very, not only specific to United States, I'd applied in other countries as well. So first talking about my admits and rejects, so I applied to Purdue, where I got accepted. And then I applied to Columbia University, there I got accepted. I applied to Georgia Tech, I was accepted there. And then University of Toronto in Canada, so I was rejected. Then other university was ETH Zurich in Switzerland. I was accepted there. TU Delft, I was accepted there as well. And then some safe universities like University of Illinois Chicago and Northeastern University, which I was accepted there as well. And then one ambitious university, which was University of California, Berkeley, where I was not accepted. So these were my the places where I was accepted and rejected. So talking about why I chose Purdue is because as at Purdue, So whenever you're looking for a university, you should not look like in the overall ranking of the university or like in the overall ranking. You should always look the department specific ranking. That is the most important thing. And again, in department also, you should not just look the general department ranking, because in department, there are different factions, right? You have semiconductors, you have like image processing, then you have like control systems. These are like different, sub departments, I would say, or different specializations. So you should also look like, how good is that specific specialization in that university. So for me, the clear shot options were Georgia Tech and Purdue, and ETH Zurich as well in Switzerland. So ETH Zurich, I sort of did not want to go there because the post graduate work opportunities are a little difficult in terms of compared to Europe because of the visa policies and everything. So that's why, like, I sort of decided to not choose that. And then it was like between Purdue and Georgia Tech. So both are really good universities. And again, in terms of I was like very much into semiconductors and devices. So for me, and Purdue is really known for its semiconductor and devices. In fact, Purdue has a huge fabrication facility as well, which is like, not many universities in United States have. And I'm like kind of research oriented. So, I do look at the research because that's what I want to do in my master's. So I saw that like Purdue's research in semiconductors is like really superior as compared to other universities. So kind of like from the options that I had, like I went for Purdue. So just to generalize or summarize, I would say that look at the department ranking and also look at the specialization. If you're into research, then do look at the research. But if you are not into research and, like if you just want to do courses and graduate, then I would suggest that look at the overall department ranking, because here, like, no one looks at the overall university ranking. The department ranking is like, is considered more here. So look at that if you're just new courses, and the research if you're into research.
Got it.
Great.
So as you mentioned about the visa policies, so most of the students are concerned about the visa policies in the US. So what are the education and the work visa policies in US for international students?
So talking about so most of the students, they have their F1 visas. They get their F1 visas in United States. So F1 visa is like valid for 5 years. And if you're in the university, then you can work in the university for like 20 hours per week. So that is like, part-time, or if you have any assistantship or research assistantship, that counts into that 20 hours. So you can like legally work for 20 hours per week. And then like during the summers, you can like go for internship and you can work for 40 hours per week. And that is called your CPT. So for like one specific F1 visa that you get for a specific program, the CPT is valid for 12 months. So, you can do your CPT. CPT is curricular practical training. That is your internship. So the maximum period that you can do is 12 months. You cannot extend it, or you cannot go beyond that. And then once you graduate, then you have the optional practical training. So that is the OPT. So it's generally given for 1 year, like for all the F1 students. But if you're into STEM, that is, engineering and mathematics and, science, then you can extend your OPT for like 2 more years. So you essentially get 3 years of OPT. And if you're not into STEM, if you're non-STEM, then you only get it for 1 year. And like there you can work for 40 hours, same as a CPT. And one important thing that I would like to mention here is that many people that they do not know about this, that you should never try to, to do your CPT for like full 12 months, because what happens is that like if you complete your CPT for full 12 months, then you lose your OPT. So you'd always try to keep the CPT duration, that is an internship duration, less than 12 months, because if it touches the 12-month duration, that is 365 days, then you will lose your OPT. So that is like one thing not many students know about when they come. Oh. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you. So that was a great added answer here. So coming to the end of our discussion, Lance. So since you just joined Intel, so could you tell us, our viewers, like how did you come across this internship, like online, via referrals, or some other portals or career fairs?
Okay, so I would say here, at least in United States, it's almost everywhere. So LinkedIn is actually a very helpful resource because, you can connect to people and connect to other employees who are working at that organization. And here, like a referral, they, sort of like try to bring your profile up in the full application pile. So, you have like many people apply to a specific position. So if you have the, let's say, if you have the referral, then like, that will bring your resume or your application like up in the pile. So that would definitely help the recruiters to, go through your profile and scan your profile. So referrals help a lot. So you should try to reach out on LinkedIn to other people and try to build a connection with them. And, like eventually you might want to ask them if they could provide them or provide you a referral, and that might help. And then also you should apply to their online portals as well. You should like, visit their website and like what position excites you or like what position you're into, and you should apply, because that also helps a lot. And you should submit or upload your resume in all the resume portals, because, a recruiter might reach out to you from nowhere. So the position that I got, so I had uploaded my resume in Intel portal. So, there is this portal that they have where you can upload your resume. I did not apply for this specific position. And then I was reached out by a recruiter, and then I had an interview, and then I got in. And similarly, I had received an internship offer from other company as well. It was same. I applied on their website, and then I got in the interview, and then I got an offer from the other company. And also referrals also a lot. So, I connected with many people on LinkedIn, and they helped me, they referred me to the company. And like, I think that also plays a very important role.
Got it. So with this, we have come to the end of our discussion, Lance. So thank you so much for being a part of our discussion and sharing your insight with our viewers.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, guys. And I hope our conversation will help, the master's aspirants and graduate aspirants who will look over the video.
Definitely, man.
Absolutely, man.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lance.
Thank you.
Hey folks, thank you for watching our video.
Please like and share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Also, guys, please don't forget to mention your views in the comment section below, and see you soon with our next video.